You read the title of the video, you're correct, and we are back with another episode of BlastOFStrangeness podcast. So tonight's episode is about mobile home trailer living. Also, welcome to the podcast if you're new. Also, if you've been subscribed for a while, welcome back. So, tonight's podcast episode is going to be about mobile home trailer living. So whether it's in a trailer park, mobile home trailer park, or if the trailer is on land instead of in a park, which is always a lot better 9 times out of 10. Pardon me, just 1 minute here. Don't mind me. Also, I'm trying to attend to something here. Here, over here, please. Thank you. Oh, shit. Anyway, so now, really, one second, I'm just gonna forget this. Fuck. You know what? Well, fucking get in there. Shit. Oh, whatever. Hold on. Whoa. Okay, be that way. All right, so now back to what I was saying. Damn thing, made me lose my color there for a minute. That's weird. Usually when I want it to turn red, it don't. So anyway, so tonight's episode, like I said, about mobile home trailer living. I had lived years ago in a mobile home trailer park. Three times actually, 3 different ones. And honestly, from what I could tell you, I would not live in one ever again. Hell to the no. But welcome to the podcast. So anyway, so now if I was to ever live in a mobile home trailer again, it would actually have to be on land instead of being in a park, which I have also done that before. Lived in mobile home trailers actually on land instead of in a trailer park, which usually works out better a lot of the time anyway. A lot of time in a mobile home trailer park, sometimes if the trailer's for sale, sometimes they can be moved onto land, and then other times the trailer could be for sale but cannot be moved, and then that's just very unfortunate. I know it does happen periodically from time to time, but from what I could tell you, I've also lived in a 2-story house before. I've also lived in apartments before, upstairs apartments, downstairs apartments, mobile home trailers, double wide or single wide, double wide, things like that. Only thing I haven't lived in yet was a triple wide trailer. But who knows, maybe it's something to consider. And no, I have never lived in a modular home before. The 2-story house that I was living in actually was built sometime in the 1980s by a contractor. That just happened to be for sale one day, and I was able to purchase that and move in there eventually. But prior to that, I was living in a mobile home trailer park in a very old double wide trailer that was really old, from like the late 1970s. Just very old, and oh my God, honestly, after that, I would never live in a trailer park ever again. Nope, no fucking thank you. That's for sure. Oh my. Oh, whatever that is now, it's gonna have to wait. So anyway, yeah, I would never want to live in a trailer park ever again. Hell no. I mean, now living in an actual mobile home trailer, yes, that I would actually go for. That I would do. That I don't mind. It's just, I just don't want it to actually be in a park. Because I've done that before, and I would never want to do that ever again. I mean, there's nothing really wrong if you live in a trailer park. I just did not like living in a trailer park. That was the only problem. Well, there were some other problems too, but I'm not going to discuss that because I don't really feel comfortable actually discussing that right now. Actually, yeah, no, I'm going to. Of course, I mean, you may get some bad neighbors, You also may get some good neighbors. You also may get a lot of drug addicts in the trailer parks, which is common in trailer parks that I've seen. Or a lot of time, the trailer can either be brand new in the park or very old. It just depends. But then again, it's a trailer park. What do you expect, honestly? I'm just saying the reasons why I personally would never, ever want to live in a mobile home trailer park ever again. No. Been there, done that. Yes, in a lot of the trailer parks and rental properties that I have lived in, majority of them people, those landlords were all slumlord landlords, by the way. That's another thing. Every time when there's a problem in a trailer park, like, say if there's some repairs in the park that need to be done, or paving that needs to be redone, or just cleaning up the parks with all types of other different things. Now, the owners will usually tell you, well, we're going to do this. We changed hands. Oh, we're going to fix this. We're going to do that. They don't do a fucking thing. They just have their hand out for the lot rent. And that is it, honestly. So that's why I would not recommend living in a mobile home trailer park. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to necessarily. But there are all types of options out there. I mean, you don't have to live in a mobile home trailer necessarily. You can, which is all one floor, obviously. And it's just good that everything's on one floor. It's better than having to walk up and down stairs for laundry. I could tell you that much. So there's a lot about living in a trailer, a mobile home trailer. And of course, sometimes you probably have to do repairs as they occur. Or sometimes stuff needs to be fixed. But as long as you keep it maintained and keep it clean, you won't really have a problem necessarily with that. But of course, I mean, you'll probably have occasional problems where, say if something was fixed, there may be a couple months later where something might need to be redone. A lot of the time, it's usually problems underneath that usually need lots of fixing and need to be done correctly. Because if it ain't done correctly, you're just going to have to keep spending that money to get it fixed until it's done right. Once it's done right and the material, the parts are not faulty junk, then you won't have that problem. But if you're going to get materials that are junky and junky parts, you're just going to have to keep spending money until you get, the correct parts and the correct items to fix that. Yes, sometimes mobile homes, depending on the age of them, can be known for lots of leaks underneath. For example, if you're moving it, there's a lots of risks. Or sometimes it's just, a lot of time the trailer is just old and sometimes things just don't hold up anymore or just need to be repaired. So a lot of the leaks usually underneath, a lot of the time, it's usually something to do with the plumbing system. It's usually the PVC pipes underneath. Sometimes often get cracks in them or holes, which is very common. And a lot of time that needs to be fixed. It can be fixed. They can be replaced too, but you would have to spend the money for both things. But it would probably honestly cost you more to actually replace it and fix it than to actually just repair the holes. But sometimes just repairing holes doesn't always work. Also, a lot of the times, depending on the age of the mobile home trailer, it may have a really bad roof leak too. That's a problem and is never fixed. And no one can ever usually figure it out. Even if it was fixed, it could still leak, believe it or not. Or a lot of time, depending on the age of the mobile home trailer, if it's a single wide, double wide, triple wide, whatever, the subfloor could actually be very spongy, where it basically just means that it's rotted and just needs to be fixed. A lot of time it's just sometimes there's spots that can actually be fixed really easily, or sometimes unfortunately the whole subfloor needs to be replaced. But then again, people just don't realize that sometimes mobile homes need repairs sometimes, to where they just need to be updated and fixed, or something just needs replacing. I know it can be expensive if you don't really have the money to fix it. Yeah, if you don't really have the money to fix it, obviously it's going to be expensive, but it could also be done fairly cheap within your price range. It does vary, but believe it or not, sometimes the mobile home trailer can be dirt cheap to fix versus a regular house or an apartment. I know. Also with a mobile home trailer, you can also add on to it as well, build a whole nother space with it, on either side of it, or on the front or on the back, or however you want to do that. Like I said, if you bought it where it was one size, and then after you bought it, you did an add-on or built around it or whatever, you can always make it bigger on the inside if you need to, which would probably cost you more money in the long run. But personally, what I would suggest then is to buy it brand new. I know that's not an option for everyone, but sometimes that's the worst option, brand new as well. But you could you can go brand new if you want to, but that's up to you. You don't have to necessarily, but just know the very number one thing, first of all, about mobile home trailers, whether it's in a park or on land, whether it's a single wide or a double wide or a triple wide or whatever, just know that mobile home trailers, sometimes the display model, or what you see in the manufacturer display models lot, that are built in a factory, that are manufactured, just know a lot of the time mobile homes can be made, are actually very cheaply made for lots of reasons. Now, what I would do personally, if you can do this, this is what I would do. Which I wish I had did this, but that's besides the point. At one time, you could actually build. You could literally get the next price up in materials and actually build your own mobile home trailer to where it looked like something that could have been built at the factory or on the display lot, to show you what the display model looks like of the home that can be purchased. Me personally, now I would spend the next price up in materials, even if the mobile home's already there on the land. You could actually get better materials and redo it, literally rebuild the whole thing from scratch if need to be. You could actually gut it and use the better materials for it, so it lasts you a lot longer. But it's, again, it's up to you. You don't have to do that necessarily. Of course not. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. It's just, there's a lot of options out there. Even famous people who have lots of money actually often live in mobile home trailers. I'll give you an example. Kid Rock, for example, actually lives in a mobile home trailer. But here you would think someone with that kind of money, who has a lot of money, that's literally rich, lives in a mobile home trailer besides. Yes, it's true. Celebrities do that. Not all celebrities do that. Some do, some don't. Even people who have a lot of money sometimes, or literally rich, will often sometimes live in a mobile home trailer. They're not all for poor people, like a lot of people think they are. No. It's just, if you can get a good deal on a mobile home trailer to live in, you might as well go for it. There's nothing wrong with living in a mobile home trailer, by the way. Even if it needs repairs. Oh, well, at least you have a place to live. It's better than living out in the streets or to be homeless. Even if the trailer is for sale, whether it's on land or in a park, or even if it's on someone's land and there's a for rent sign, even if you had to pay someone rent to live there, 9 times out of 10, at least you could live inside of that trailer if need be. But you don't always have to go that route either. Just be aware that you may get a slumlord landlord, which is a very strong possibility. But I know what you're probably thinking. Well, how do you know all this about mobile home trailers? I just know about it from experience. That's all I'm saying. Or if you're someone who owns a mobile home trailer on land, say you just had it all redone on the inside and on the outside, and high-speed internet. Believe it or not, you could literally, if you wanted to, if you actually wanted to put it on a listing for an Airbnb, you actually could do that with a mobile home trailer, as long as it was all remodeled on the inside and on the outside and had high-speed internet, which that you would probably have to contact your internet provider for, whether it's Charter/Spectrum or whoever. Or, wait, let me rephrase. Charter/Time Warner/Spectrum from back then until the current now. But, it's just, you could actually do that if you wanted to. You don't have to necessarily. But people do some strange stuff sometimes. So anyway, take a little break from what I was just yapping about. Oh, yeah, my day was lovely. Yeah, my day was so lovely. It started out great. Um, yeah, I actually got stung by a bee this morning. Almost got stung by two of them, but luckily it was just one. Yeah. And then my air conditioner decided to pull a stunt that I was not ready for and did not know that that could actually happen. I had no fucking clue that those things were going to happen today. Yeah, so it's just been a really great day, honestly. But yes, I'm okay, and things worked out. Air conditioners, everything's all set and done and fixed for now. So back to what I was saying. So now living in a mobile home trailer has its perks. Yeah, you don't have to worry about going up and down stairs. Thank God. That's lovely. Because believe it or not, going up and down stairs can be horrible sometimes. Believe it or not. I mean, do I miss my 2-story house? The one that I lived in, yes and no. There are things about that home that I do miss. But there's also things about it that I don't miss. Like for example, I don't actually miss that the 2-story house that I lived in. What I did not miss about it was the ghosts that were in that house. This 2-story house that I lived in was actually haunted really bad. So when I moved out of there, I just did not miss that whatsoever one bit. But then again, I did not miss a lot of things about that house. Because, I mean, yes, did I miss the beautiful granite countertops that were in the kitchen? Oh, God, yes. Did I miss the spirit/ghost in the one bedroom that will constantly make this knocking, tapping sound? Nope, don't miss that one. There was another one, too. A friendly one, a woman, I think. The lady was friendly, that ghost spirit. But the other one, the male that would make those knocking sounds, he was not very friendly at all. Very mean. And this 2-story house that I lived in, at the time, the one bedroom downstairs, the last bedroom actually that was down there, it was always cold in that room. Always. And everywhere else in the house, yeah, I mean, the rooms could probably be, but the rest of it was not cold. The other bedrooms were not cold at all. They were fairly warm. But that one in particular was cold. Even during the summertime, that bedroom was always cold. Everything when it's about 90 to 100 degrees outside. Yeah, about 90 degrees to 100 degrees outside in the hot summer heat in the summertime. Here you think that room would be hot? No, that room always remained cold. Always. Like, say if you'd come out of that bedroom, there was a bathroom right, like, not far from it. Like, here was the bedroom, right? And here was the bathroom. Like, way, this way. Now, you go in that bathroom. The bathroom's like the rest of the house. Normal. Not cold at all. Now, you go in the other bedroom, you go back upstairs. Everything is different up there. It's all warm, not cold. Now, that was strange. And there was always a distinctive smell in that room. Like, it wasn't like a rotting meat smell or anything like that. It was just like, I don't know how to describe this, but like an unearthly smell. Like, almost, it smelled like Well, it was two different smells, actually. Sometimes it would smell like this old, like moisture, or almost like a mold smell. But it wasn't moisture or mold. Um, it would smell like this. It almost, I say no, it wasn't like a death smell or like a funeral home smell or anything like that. It was just this very strong, um, like almost like if you were outside, kind of like dirt, like having just a real nasty odor to it. Then sometimes this room would often smell like flowers, which is weird. Or like a flowery perfume for a woman. Yeah, that was weird. But like I said, sometimes that room would have two different smells in it. Sometimes other days it would be one smell, like a dirt with like a nasty odor. Other times it'd be like a flower smell, which was weird. And that room always felt like you were being watched by something. So one day, I had went into the local Walmart one day nearby and walked in, got a baby monitor for that room downstairs. My bedroom was upstairs on the other end of the house. So this baby monitor thingy. Anyway, so what I did was I kept the one in my room, turned it on, took the one downstairs, turned it on, put it in that bedroom downstairs, and I said, I wonder if I'll hear anything. Nope, did not hear nothing. And I said to myself, you've got to be kidding me. But then I turned the one, so I kept the one in my room on upstairs. I went downstairs, turned that one off, took it back up into my bedroom, and shut the one off in my bedroom. And then all of a sudden, that's when I heard this very strange knocking sound, tapping sound coming from downstairs. So I go downstairs in that bedroom, open the door, the noise just stops completely. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Really? Okay. Interesting. And then one day, this tapping, knocking sound from downstairs got so loud, I literally had to scream and yell so loud for it to stop. And then it got louder and louder and louder. I was just surprised the house did not fall apart or shake or come crumbling down. So when I had moved out of that house and whoever bought the place to live there, I just hope they like living there with ghosts and going through that same tapping and knocking sound that I went through when I had lived there. Now, you can't tell me that stuff did not happen when I lived in that house. Ha, yes, it did. Now, that's not the first time I lived in a haunted property. Nope. The property I currently live at now, there's always it's actually haunted, but not the inside of the home. It's on the outside part of the land, like meaning out in the yard. There's some strange activity sometimes. But it's the most bizarre of things that happen, you know? Which I'm not going to get into that right now. That'll be for another episode of the podcast. Sorry, I thought I heard the air conditioner making a noise. Oh, okay, looks like it's running the way it's supposed to. Okay, cool. So, anyway. So, like I said, you know, a lot of bizarre things have happened with that, this, that, and the other. But anyway, so This podcast is also being filmed in real time at a disclosed location, which a lot of you don't know about. Now, thank you also for watching and subscribing. Now, also be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified every time there's a new video. Another thing I want to say too, I also have other videos and content available on my channel. I also have more episodes of a podcast like this one you're watching. There's more episodes of that on my YouTube channel, so just subscribe for that. If you haven't watched them yet, please feel free to do so slightly after. It's up to you. But there is content there. There's regular content. There's YouTube shorts for content. There's regular YouTube videos for content. There's also live stream videos of this podcast for content. All kinds of things. So just know that. Also, email the podcast and we'll see how we can get you here on the podcast. And if you email the podcast right now, I will actually read the email right on here live. Now, how does that sound? I know, sounds good, don't it? So also be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. That way so you'll be notified every time there's a new video. Now, of course, you have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. Personally, I would pick all of them. That way so you never miss out. So anyway, like I said, honestly, would I live in a mobile home trailer park again? No. Now, I mean, there were some good things that also happened living in a trailer park, to me. There were also some bad things, too, that had happened. But other than that, no. And I mean, yes, I understand, sometimes that mobile home trailer parks often have a bad reputation. I understand that. I get that. And yes, I also understand how mobile home trailers are budget-friendly homes for people to be more affordable. There are also some high-end ones, too, that you could purchase that can be quite expensive versus what some of the other more affordable ones cost. But like I said, just keep your options out. Just keep your options open, to keep your eyes and ears opened, and just know what to look for. Because sometimes things are not as good as they seem. Or sometimes something will sound great 1 minute, and then once it's all said and done in reality, it's not. Now, of course, you can also go through Clayton Homes if you're interested in purchasing a mobile home trailer as well. You can do that too if you want. I guess I have to have my Stewart Shop iced coffee. Pumpkin spice season is here. That's the iced coffee flavor I got. So anyway, now would I live in a mobile home trailer again? Oh yes, absolutely. I say that, but then other times I'm like, no, I don't think so. And then other times I'm like, yes, I would. Now, see, me personally, I go back and forth with that for a lot of reasons, actually. And it's just one of those things. And unfortunately, it is what it is, unfortunately. But you know what? No matter who you are, what you're going through, just know that you're loved. It's okay if you're going through things, no judgment here. But just keep that in mind. I know sometimes that sounds very hard, and I know. But like I said, No judgment here. Just know whoever you are and whatever you're going through, things can change and look up for you. Just know that you're well loved. Just lots of love. Just know that. Now, I mean, there's all kinds of things you could do with a mobile home trailer. You can, for example, if you don't like how something is on it, you could change it. Or sometimes you could trade it in for a newer one. You don't always have to keep the original structure that's there on a property, even if it's another mobile home, and say you wanted to put a newer one there, you can do that, believe it or not. But you would just want to check a few things, county code and regulations, and just make sure that it can be moved. Also check the HUD codes on it, and just make sure you're not in a flood zone. And you'll be fine, probably. But there's just a lot of things to look for. Make sure you're on dry land, not wet land, for your mobile home trailer. I mean, you can have a foundation and place your mobile home trailer on that. Or you could have a slab poured and put your mobile home on that. You could actually have a basement if you have a mobile home trailer, believe it or not. Yes, that is a possibility. But a lot of people don't think that's a possibility. Well, you know what? It is. Or a lot of time, if you want something specific with a mobile home trailer that you want built, just either contact the manufacturer lot where they keep the display models, or contact the manufacturers directly and tell them what you want, how you want it, what you want it to look like, and they can make it happen. But obviously you would have to pay for it, of course, but it would be done irregardless of how you want it to look, what you want exactly. Oh, they'll make it happen, trust me. But of course, here would be something I would want in one, which I think it is possible, but I could be wrong. You know, I had always said it'd be cool to have in a double wide trailer or a triple wide or a single wide to have an actual pool indoors in one. I've never seen one that has had that on the inside. Now, would I like to have that inside of one? Would I love to see that? Yes. Is it possible? Probably. I mean, like I said, I've never seen it, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. But I had one time someone tell me that, oh, that's not possible. It's not going to happen. That's just a fantasy. It's just a dream. Yeah, well, you know what? I found out later in reality, it is possible. And you know what? This makes great story for content, actually. So, when I was in high school, this teacher, this bitch, believe it or not, Miss Bitch, that's what we're going to call her because she was a bitch, that one. So one day she hands us this stupid thing and she says, okay, here, now write about something a current home or a home that you would like to own someday, or you may or may not own someday or something. Just write in here what you would want. And I was like, time to think outside the box a little. So I did. So I write down something about a double wide trailer, and I'm like, so about 4 to 5 bedrooms, 2 to 3 bathrooms, and possibility maybe a pool inside of the home, which I think would be pretty cool. whether or not if it's possible. She decided, Miss Bitch, turned around, read it, looked at me and was fuming, and told me it was not possible, and that I should really rethink about doing this assignment. I looked at her, I was like, you know what? Fuck you. Take that assignment and stick it up your fucking ass. That's what I told that bitch. And she just looking at me, I was like, tough, deal with it. But that's the whole story on that. And I think at the time, the only reason why she was horrible to me is because I lived in a mobile home trailer at the time. That's all that amounted to. I really think that's what it was. I do. All right. I will see you all in the next episode. Much love, no matter what you're going through. No judgment here. See y'all next week. Bye.